We are live.
We are live. This is exciting. Well, kind of exciting. Welcome to the 36th annual meeting of the Sconset Trust. I'm so sorry that we are Zooming. This is really, to me, very sad. I find Zooming very cumbersome and clunky, but at least we get to see everybody. We wish we could be at the casino, but we're not. And just so you know, I have to tell you, but we're going to mute you all until the end of the meeting.
That shows you the name. So.
When we will take questions and answers. I'll probably tell you this again later. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. You are the backbone of the Sconset Trust, and we're so happy to see all of you. Hope most of you are here in Sconset and or getting up here soon. I'm Clement Durkee. Sorry, this is my first annual meeting as president. Also very exciting for me. And as you know, the trust was founded in 1984, and we took this opportunity this year to do a really nice annual report because we just finished our 35th year. So we mailed this to all of you. In case you didn't get it, please come by the office and get another one because we are very, very proud of it. It looks fabulous. And I just want to be the first one tonight to thank you for all of your support. You're the backbone of the trust, as I said, and you'll be thanked many, many, many times over. But we're doing this in a strange way. Since we're all on Zoom, I told we're going to mute everybody except for whoever is speaking at the time. And our speakers are all right here in the office. So we'll turn the camera around to whoever's speaking.
Just for a quick thumbs up that everyone can hear.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Quick.
Thumbs, yep, nod your head. Yep, everybody. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks. And as I said, we'll take questions at the end for any of our presenters. So any committee reports, you have a question, just speak up at the end when we unmute you, and maybe you can raise your hand or you can also use chat to ask a question. First of all, my first important thing to do tonight is to say goodbye to 5 of our outgoing board members. And I say we say goodbye, but of course we know where all of you live, so we can find you at any moment. Churchill is leaving the trust board. She's been used all of her architectural expertise, and she's been really the cornerstone of all of our preservation efforts, spearheading the annual Conservation and Presentation Awards, and also arranging our Sconset House tours. She also does, she performs all of our annual inspections for the properties that we have easements on. And thank you so much, Elizabeth. We hope you continue to inspect those properties. We also very much hope to see you up here soon. So thank you. Matt Fremont Smith is also leaving us. He is an expert in easements, and he set the example by putting his family house, the Atlantic House, into a preservation easement. It's the centerpiece of our village and also our easement properties. He and Samantha also hosted last year's patron party. We all got to enjoy what they've done with the Atlantic House. It's gorgeous. And I'm just so sorry that all of these things we can't do again this year. There will be no patron party this year. But anyway, thank you, Matt. And Paul Sheridan is also leaving us. He has chaired the land committee for as long as I can remember. He's our eyes and ears with the activities of whatever the Coast Guard has in mind for the Loran property. His quiet negotiating skills have added the Milestone Road property to our family of properties, and the town transfers that have occurred during the past year. Thanks so much, very much, Paul. I don't see him in the little squares, but he's somewhere in there. Emma, I saw Emma. She has chaired the Lighthouse Committee for a long number of years, 3 to 4 years, and she still volunteers and comes to the Lighthouse opening days all the time. She made the cornhole game, and she made the placard that says, "End of the line. Line stops here," whatever you said, Emma. She has been so creative, and she's made auction items for our gala that are highly contested and actually physically fought over. So thank you so much, Emma. And you'll see her pillow will be in our online live auction starting next week. And it's actually here behind Betsy, if you can see it. It is beautiful. So Emma, we'll really, really miss you. Thank you so much for all your years here. But you know, we know you live just right back there. You're not far from us. Lynn Wilson has been very active with the trust. There she is. Hi, Lynn. Been very active with our events committees over the years, and she's chaired the volunteers at the gala forever. And her jewelry creations will also be featured in the silent online auction. And there's a pair of her earrings right back here. Well, you'll hear more about the online auction, which is called essentially Sconset. Thanks so much, Lynn. We'll be presenting each of you with a signed limited edition Rob Benchley photograph.
Right.
Can you see it in here?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
It is beautiful.
really.
Wait for you all to see it. This does not do it justice. The lights, the stars are twinkling, and it's lovely. So we're going to give that to you when we see you next, or come by the office. We love having people visit the office. Cynthia Gallagher, at the end of our meeting, will announce the new board members, and we'll all get to vote on them at the time. So we'll unmute you then. Thanks. And alas, the Night Under the Light Gala, which was hosted by Kathy and David Cheek and Rachel and Paul Sheridan, of course, was canceled. It would have been last Sunday night. It would have been spectacular. But we thank them all for all the work they did. We also want to thank Lynn and Mark Filipski for chairing the silent auction. They got so many great things together. Some things I think can be held next year. Some things they're putting in the essentially Sconset online auction. You'll be able to look at those and bid on those. But we thank all of those people for being so flexible and being able to cancel, realizing that we had to cancel when we did. They have nimbly transformed the silent auction into the online auction. So you'll look out for that. We owe them a multitude of thanks. We really do. Another of our annual events, which had to be canceled, was Jog in the Fog, which would have been this Saturday. So Eric, if you're out there, you're on again for next year. We've already signed you up. And if all goes well, all other events will be back next year, and maybe even some more. As the work of the trust continued over the winter and the spring with the arrival of COVID-19, Betsy worked harder than ever. She was trying to salvage and redirect all of the efforts of the trust to fundraise and to entertain all of you, our staunch supporters. She's reached out to all the other island nonprofits. They had a conference call every Monday to see if anybody could figure out what to do during these awful times. So we're really making connections. We're not just Sconset anymore. We're very important with the whole island. I think that's wonderful. Also, in terms of fundraising, so many of you have already recognized that we have this need for funding without a fundraiser. So we can't do anything without you, and we can't thank you enough. Okay, enough of my report. Let's go on to the other reports. Kathy, let's see if we can unmute Kathy so she can get the minutes from the 2019 annual meeting.
Hi, I'll make this easy. I'm here to present the minutes from the July 5th, 2019 annual meeting. And I think with everybody and trying to be muted, so I think what I will do is just say, ask for a motion to accept them as written with a second. And then instead of asking everybody to say aye, if anybody has an amendment, unmute yourself and tell me how I should amend. So, okay, Karen is so moving. A second. I'm just, okay, Jamie's raising his hand. So I'm gonna give everybody a pause. I'm gonna assume all is well as written unless somebody unmutes quickly and says something, and in which case, and honestly, if you can't fast enough, you can always call us tomorrow and we can work on it. So, are you changing something? Is that Evie Lister? Oh, I thought I heard it. Hi. Okay, I'm going to say that the minutes were approved as written. So if that's incorrect, please call the office tomorrow and we can discuss what the changes would be. But anyway, I'm saying that they were approved as written 2019.
Thank you.
That's,
Yeah, we accept that approval. Thanks so much.
thank you.
Now we're on to our executive director's report. Betsy's sitting right here.
These past months have been challenging and unexpected, to say the least, but I have been so moved by the way the island and all of you have rallied to make our organization and everything clear. It has been just wonderful. As Clement mentioned, the island nonprofits began meeting weekly the end of March, and we commiserated, we collaborated, and we have had strengthened our relationship with so many of the island people, the Civic Association, the Sconset Advisory Board, the Land Bank, the NPT, Linda Loring, the Land Council, the Conservation Foundation, and we're delighted with our relationship with the town. They have helped us so much with land acquisition and titles. We are working on some zoning issues and always working on Loran and of course the fire station, the future of that. So stay tuned. It's all in the hopper. But the trust, I can report the trust is strong thanks to all of you. We have an incredible board under Clement's leadership. It was amazing what the gala chairs and the auction chairs did to transform our non-gala into a wonderful event. And we're trying to do some small events. And you may have seen a few people hunting Barnaby. Barnaby Bear is all over Sconset, Evie. You should know that. And and we're doing some walks and all kinds of small things. And just stay tuned. We'll keep you posted on as much as we can do. But most of all, I just want to thank all you members. You all have been understanding and incredibly generous and really getting us through this tough time. So many thanks, and I love you, Evie.
And now we'll hear from Ellen Mitchell on our financial situation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. Hopefully in a moment you will see, Tom will be so kind as to help to share the financials. There we go. Does everyone see them? Give me a thumbs up if you see them. See a few thumbs up, thank you. So 2019 was a strong financial year for the trust. Membership and fundraising revenue in 2019 was $860,000, up 16% over 2018. In addition, the trust was the fortunate beneficiary of a bequest of approximately $800,000. This bequest doubled our revenue to 1.6 million versus 740,000 in 2018, and also reminds us of the generosity and the forethought of those who include the Sconset Trust and other island organizations in their estate planning. Trust expenses were 749,000 last year versus 335,000 in 2018. This increase was primarily attributable to the purchase in partnership with the land bank of a land parcel contiguous with the trust and land bank property in Sconset. Ordinary income was nearly 900,000 as compared to 405,000 in 2018. Change in net assets was 1.9 million in 2019 and 345,000 in 2018 after giving effect to the very strong equity market conditions in 2019. Turning to the balance sheet, cash and current assets totaled almost 630,000. Our investment portfolio and restricted cash totaled 9.8 million, and the trust held 23 million of conservation land at year end. Total assets were 35 million, and we at the trust continue to operate without the use of any debt. Given that we are halfway through this new and challenging fiscal and calendar 2020 year, I would add that the trust continues to be in very sound financial condition. While it is, of course, a very challenging summer with our largest fundraising events canceled due to COVID-19, our membership continues to donate generously, and we are so grateful for your support of our mission. Furthermore, the trust's conservative investment policy and portfolio positioning has served us well in the context of extreme volatile financial markets year to date. Our investment portfolio has fully recovered from last spring's downturn in the stock market and is now up 1% to 2% year to date. As treasurer and on behalf of the Finance Committee and the Trust, I want to thank you for your ongoing support of the finances of the Trust and our beloved Sconset community. Thank you so much, and I'm available at the end and always afterwards too for any questions you might have. Thank you. I will now turn it over to Danny Korengold.
Thanks, Ellen. I love those reports.
Hello, hello.
Danny, you want to come over?
Okay, I'm going to give a quiz to everybody. And again, I, as head of development, want to thank you all. Anyone have any idea how many members donated to our 35th anniversary last year? I know you're all on mute, so nobody can answer. Almost 1,000 members have donated this past year, which is incredible. Obviously, with the COVID-19, we know that fundraising this year will be a challenge, and the Board of Trustees have spent a lot of time talking about how sensitive we should be, how to proceed. The annual giving appeal and our gala are our two principal sources of income for the Trust. Since circumstances have prevented us from actually hosting our summer gala, which traditionally we have nearly 400 people that attend, we are still presenting you the opportunity to bid on our online auction starting at 5 p.m. next Thursday, July 30th. So please take a look at some of the items, and there's some unique ones, and that would be helpful. Now, as far as our annual giving appeal, we are optimistic that you will continue to support us and maybe even give a little extra in lieu of the lost revenue from the gala cancellation. And lastly, I want to bring your attention to the newly formed Beacon Society that was established last year. This giving society recognizes those that have made provisions for the Sconset Trust in their estate planning. Gifts from this initiative will enable the Trust to continue the mission of conservation and preservation in perpetuity. Last year, we reported that the Trust was the beneficiary of a request, as Ellen just mentioned, of nearly $800,000 from planned gift from an individual estate. So if people want to know more about that or have questions about that, don't hesitate to give us a call. It's an important way to raise money for the long run. So thank you very much. All righty. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Danny. Hi, me again. In Paul's absence, I'm going to give you the Land Committee activities report. Over the last year, the Land Committee, in collaboration with both the Land Bank and Nantucket Golf Club, we were able to purchase a little over 3 acres on Milestone Road. That was under threat of being developed, so that will stay clear now. Thank you. And that was a good collaboration with the Land Bank and the Nantucket Golf Club. And we now have deeds to 3 of the properties that were transferred to us by the town. We have about 35 plus acres down at the end of Low Beach Road around Tom Nevers Pond. Also, a couple of pieces that are near the railroad track bed and across the railroad track bed. And we now have the tip of the triangle leading into Sconset. So those are all clear title to us now. The portion, there's another transfer that's about to happen from across from Linden Avenue. There's a piece of land that the town is going to transfer to us as soon as it goes through some other legal process, land court or something. And that is going to, we're going to be able to provide beach access for Sconseteers. Also, Paul is always staying in close contact with the Coast Guard and the people in charge of the Coast Guard in Washington. And so whenever he hears anything that's going to happen. So Paul is our eyes and ears down there. And that's all I have for Paul's report. So thank you. Next, we are up with Kate Heller O'Reilly to talk about our beloved lighthouse.
Well, we all wish we were up here strolling around the lighthouse, but the romance is gone because the beacon that the Coast Guard replaced our old light with is now their standard issue light that they're using up and down the East Coast. So Robbie is working very hard with the Coast Guard to try and find a light that's going to more closely resemble the light, the flashing light that we're so used to, the fuller, warmer light. And we hope that that work is going to yield something that's more comforting than that sort of knife-like beam we see now. I'd like to thank the cleaner uppers who've been diligently going up a couple of times a week and sometimes find some very interesting things and they make up stories about them. But I think that's I'd still like to just thank them for their diligence and get neat and tidy up there as people do stroll around. Betsy's been working with the town to have them bring some water up to the lighthouse. And drinking water dispenser. We've been looking forward to that for a long time, and it's very exciting that it's coming through. So people will be able to bring their own bottles and fill them up, and that's really going to be a benefit to us when we get to have open days again. Sadly, we've decided not to have the October open day. Things are still too uncertain, and it's just such a close space there. We can't risk having our volunteers and visitors in such close proximity while the virus is still rampant. So no October open day. And we've also decided that the lighthouse should just be closed to visitors. So not even small groups will be allowed up this summer until we feel that it's safe. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Kate. Matt, do you know how to tune in to give your report?
Here.
Okay, great. Thanks, Matt.
Spending far too much time on Zoom these days.
Yeah, you've done it. Good for you.
Delighted to be here with all of you, and sorry I can't be there in person right now. From the Preservation Committee perspective, just a quick report, just really highlighting what we put in the spring newsletter. This year, we've really been focused on trying to raise awareness of architectural and historical properties in the village with individual owners of those properties. And we've primarily been doing that through our House Histories program, which you may remember was started last year with a generous anonymous donation. We really had great success with this. We've got a dozen properties that are targeted. We've completed 4 now, I think, Betsy, plus the firehouse. We have several more underway. And we've gotten great traction with the owners of these properties to really dive into the history of the property, understand what's architecturally significant and historically significant, write that up in a brief report, which is quite a nice report. And then that helps us springboard into the discussion about potentially preserving those properties and those features by easements and other means going forward. We've also shared those histories with the real estate brokers who are active in the village. We've put them in the trust office for people to refer to. They're also been made available to the Nantucket Historical Association. And we're going to have them online on our website and on the NHA's website as well, to be available for people to look at, as and when that'll be happening later this summer into the fall when we update the website. And so we hope that the momentum we have in this program is really going to help. It's already showing some good progress in terms of those dialogues. We also did a report on the firehouse, and as we were charged by the board last year to begin a dialogue with the town around the firehouse. We've advanced that conversation, and we're having good discussion with the fire department and with the town about that. And so as that discussion evolves between the fire department and the town, we will be involved and obviously help you make sure that our perspectives are shared there. We are also working on continuing education around easements. You may recall that we have done good work on zoning and preservation, and obviously we have the HDC at work in Sconset. But those are good steps to preserve important parts of the village. They are not permanent. They can be changed by politics and other forces. And so really the best way to preserve properties is by putting a historical easement in place. We have lots of learning and knowledge about that. We can give people education on that. Seriously ask people to consider whether their properties are of historical interest, and if they are, if they wouldn't like to talk about an easement, to make sure that that remains that way for future generations. Lastly, we're going to be talking this summer about the village center and other tools we might put in place to talk to the owners of commercial properties in the center and see if we can have the trust be a little bit more of a resource to those people as well. And then we're gonna end with our preservation awards, which Elizabeth is going to do. So I just want to say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure serving, and look to support the trust going forward in any way we can. Elizabeth?
Thank you, Matt. I'd like to present the 2020 Lowry Family Preservation Award, honoring Greg and Heather Garland for the renovation of 19 New Street and recognizing their commitment to preservation and of historic structures in the village of Sconset. Congratulations, Greg and Heather.
Board right here, and Greg is sitting across from me, so lean in, Greg. There you go. There you go. There it is. We will scrimshaw his name on there, or etch, or whatever you call it. So thanks, Greg, for doing a great job.
Thank you. Betsy wanted me to say a few words. This was a surprise and an honor too. I'd like to point out that my wife, Heather, her parents received it in 2009. And I wanted to thank Angus McLeod. He did the design, which is always very sensitive to small spaces. The house was original to 1882. And when we moved in, it was 1882 for sure. And we've virtually doubled the space, but you really can't tell it from the front of the house, I'd say. So we're really pleased with how it came out, and this is quite an honor. Thank you.
Hey, well deserved. Thank you. Thanks, Elizabeth. Now we'll turn the meeting over to Cynthia Gallagher. She is our nominating. We'll unmute, after she makes her presentation, we'll unmute you. Do we have to vote individually? I guess we do. No, we vote on the whole slate. So we'll unmute you after she presents them all. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. On behalf of the Trust Nominating Committee, I would like to present to you the slate of the new board members for approval. Our bylaws state that we can have between 15 and 21 board members, and we currently have 21. We have 3 board members who are eligible for re-election. And I'm happy to announce that they have each agreed to a second term. These are Jamie Holt, Will Overlock, and Marcella Zimmerman. So we're thrilled to have all 3 of them for 3 more years. And as Clement mentioned, 5 people will be going off the board this year. Elizabeth Churchill, Matt Fremont-Smith, Paul Sheridan, Emma Ward, and Lynn Wilson. Thanks to each of you for your valuable service to the trust. I would like to now present to you the names of the people that this nominating committee has carefully selected and the board has unanimously approved for election to the board of the trust. These are Doug Brown, John Carter, Chip Cruz, Ashley Bisbee, and Siobhan O'Mahony Moore. Each of them has agreed to serve on the board if elected for a term of 3 years. Could I please have a motion to approve our 5 new board members?
So moved.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Well, we have to
I
answer
think,
this.
sorry, any nays? Great. I thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Cynthia. That was great. I'm extremely excited. I thought that with all I had written for my opening remarks, that this would be going on and on and on forever. But you know, it's 5 o'clock. It's cocktail time somewhere. I just want to thank all of you. This has been my first year. It's been a challenging year, but it really is a want to, obviously our village means a lot to all of us. And your support has been terrific over the past years, and I'm confident you will continue to be amazing and support and protect our village. Betsy and I are actually having so much fun. This is not work. This is fun.
It is,
It is.
absolutely.
We're having a ball. So I'm not going anywhere. Tonight was really brought to you by Tom Dixon, who has brought Betsy and I a masterclass in Zoom, and we couldn't have done it without him. Yay, Tom. We want to thank him for keeping us all up to date and working together all winter long. That's been wonderful having Jenny. And our keeper, Rob, he's trying to keep the light shining, but it's been a challenge for him this year. So we appreciate all of his help. I guess now we can just open up for, if there's any new business, questions will be the new business. If you have a question, I guess raise your hand.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, it's Rob.
Rob has a question. Rob, you're
I have
supposed
a question. Well,
answer the
actually, Rob has a comment. I thought everybody should know that Clement joined the Sconset Advisory Board. It's a local arm of the Historic Districts Commission, and she does an outstanding job. She comes to all of our meetings, and so not only does the trust benefit from her, but the Sconset Advisory Board does as well. So thank you, Clement. Keep it up.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Raise your hand. Elizabeth has a comment.
I just was looking at Betsy and wondering if that was a Sconset Trust mask she was wearing.
Oh, it is a Karen Frist mask. She has written a wonderful book for children on how to wash your hands, and we do have it for sale in the office. So please come get one for your children or grandchildren.
It needs to be marked around down the road. Thanks.
The other thing you can see if you're looking at Betsy is behind her are some of our auction items for essentially Sconset. You can see that we have Heather Garland has done needlepoint Santas, and of course Emma's pillow. These are Lynn Wilson's earrings, which you probably can't see very well, but they're beautiful. Mary Hazelgrove has given us a wonderful photograph of a daffodil. We have a Sailor's Valentine by an anonymous donor, and we have some Nantucket woven bracelets here. That's in addition to the other items for Martha Palaki. Yeah. So please tune in next Thursday. when we go
And,
live.
and come by the office if you're in Sconset and get our special Sconset surprise mix from the Chanticleer.
We'll have mixes, drink mixes here, what, Thursday night?
4 to 6.
4 to 6.
No, excuse me, 3 to 5.
3 to 5 to celebrate the opening of the auction, and we limited number, but come by and pick yours up. And then bid.
Hello.
Yep.
Hi, this is, it says Rory, this is Nina. Has anyone talked about Danielle De Benedictis and her whole thing with the summer house and not taking care of her employees? And the COVID cases that have resulted from that?
We have heard a lot of rumors around Sconset that that is the case. I haven't had any documentation of what she's actually doing, so.
Well, they closed her restaurant down, so that's pretty obvious that something's not right.
For a while.
And I think it should be addressed by somebody.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't.
You're welcome.
Anybody have any other comments on that? I do not.
I'm not sure there was a question there. Is there a question?
No. I think that's it.
Okay, jump in. Anybody else? Did we do such a good job that nobody has any questions? Oh, here we have one question. Oh, Rob, back again. All right, Rob.
Hi, it's Rob again. You're a dedicated but altitudinally challenged keeper. The most recent thing, and I just wanted everybody to know, is I don't have any information back from the Coast Guard. I think they're waiting for me to come back to them with a proposal. And so there are two kinds of lights that they, is their standard issue, as Katie said, and it's what we have here, which is pretty standard. And then there's another one that's very, very, very much brighter. It's LED technology, and it doesn't rotate, it blinks. So I've been doing some research, and I found a couple of manufacturers that mention in their literature specifically retrofits for older historic lighthouses. So I'm pursuing that. I've reached out to both companies, and I heard back from one most recently, and they're doing what he said was a workup and a proposal, but I haven't heard back because I'm sure they're having lots of holdups like we are here. One of them is in Spain, and they manufacture aids to navigation for the entire Mediterranean area, which is pretty amazing. And the other one is in Finland. So this has been an interesting little project, and I keep getting a little more information here and there. It's taking a while, but the Coast Guard guy that I last talked to said, whatever happens is not going to happen this month. They are totally aware of how we feel about that light, and he initially told me that they were going to put in an LED rotating, very bright thing, and somewhere along the line between March and June, when we had our reopening, and some higher up somewhere, probably with the purse string, said, well, we're not going to pay for that one. Anyway, so it's not all negative, and we're working on it. And if you stand right, if you happen to be able to get right with that, where that beacon shines into your face, it is rather bright, but but you have to be a ship at sea, I'm afraid. And sometimes we feel like we're ships at sea with what the light is doing right now. So anyway, so we're working on it.
So Rob, this is
Yeah.
Beatrice and Eric Olson. We just got off the ferry and we're on our way to Nantucket. So we're both pilots. We fly into here from Connecticut, and we
Nice.
depend on the lighthouse.
Excellent. Well, I will note that, because, you know, there's some thought that, well, it's an aid to navigation in its day, and this is not necessarily its day, which we can all disagree with, but that's great.
Rob,
I'm getting a funny audio.
flying to Nantucket.
Sorry, just to make it clear, hopefully you can hear us. It is a beacon to us. It is the way that we navigate when it's extremely dark in the skies. To be able to see Nantucket in a dark sky every 7.5 seconds, we
Right.
know we're going in the right direction. And yes, we do have GPS on our airplane, but to see that light it creates an incredible hope and safety. And it's not just about seeing it when you walk on Baxter or around. It is a truly navigational beacon. And we need space people that fly into Nantucket and out under difficult circumstances.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Whoa.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Rob, for explaining all of that.
Okay. You're welcome.
Any more questions, or can the meeting be adjourned?
Do we have a motion?
Do we have a motion? We have a motion here to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
Second. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And next year we'll have cocktails afterwards.
Next year, you won't be a square on the screen. Thank you so much for coming and participating. It was really wonderful to see so many faces and to have so much interest in our Sconset Trust.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, good night.
Hi, Peyton.
Hi, Rob. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Oh. The world of Zoom.